Understand English without subtitles. Listening practice for real fluency. Stop just studying English, start hearing it, feeling it, and understanding it like a real conversation. In this 30-minute listening workout, you'll train your ears to recognize natural English at different speeds, in real-life situations and without subtitles. You'll start slow, build rhythm, repeat key phrases, and challenge your brain to think directly in English without translating. This isn't passive listening. This is active fluency training, built to rewire how your brain hears and responds to English. Perfect for beginners and intermediate learners who want to improve their comprehension, pronunciation, and confidence in real conversations. Press play, listen closely, speak along, and let English become part of you. Understanding spoken English is not a matter of intelligence. It's not about how many words you know or how long you've been studying. It's about what you train your brain to hear. And for most learners, this training has been broken from the beginning. You were taught to read. You were taught to write. Maybe you practiced grammar rules and filled out worksheets. But no one taught your brain how to listen, how to catch sound, rhythm, emotion, and meaning without slowing down or translating. And that's why you freeze in conversations. Even if you know the words on paper, listening is not passive. It's active, it's physical, it's mental, and it's emotional. It requires attention, timing, repetition, and above all, exposure to natural rhythm. Not textbook audio, not robotic voices, not fake repeat after me drills spoken by actors who aren't really speaking to anyone. Real listening means real people, real flow, real speed. And unless you train for that, the moment someone speaks to you in the real world, your ears panic, your brain locks up, and your fluency disappears. But here's the truth no one told you. You can train your ears just like you train a muscle. You can build comprehension in layers. You can learn how to hear faster, process more, and think in English without needing subtitles. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to understand every word. You just need to catch the rhythm. Because once your brain locks onto rhythm, everything becomes easier. Right now you might think, I understand English when it's slow, but not when it's fast. That's normal. That's not failure. That's a signal. A signal that your ears have been trained to expect space, separation, silence between words. But that's not how people speak. People connect words. They contract them. They blend them. I am gonna replaces I am going to. Do you want to replaces do you want to? If your brain only knows the written version, the spoken version will always sound like noise until you train for it. This is not about memorizing rules. It's about hearing them again and again until they click. That's why in this video, we're not going to use subtitles. We're not going to translate. We're going to build listening fluency the way native speakers build their own, through repetition, shadowing, prediction, and emotional connection. You'll hear voices. You'll hear short phrases. You'll hear full conversations. And you'll hear them more than once. First slowly, then naturally, then without support. You'll repeat them. You'll shadow them. You'll feel them. Because fluency isn't just understanding what's being said. It's understanding it fast enough to stay inside the conversation. Think about how children learn to speak. They don't sit down with transcripts. They don't ask for subtitles. They hear, then they repeat, then they respond. That's the model we're using here. Not to become children, but to reactivate the way the brain is naturally built to learn language. You don't need to be brilliant. You just need to be consistent. So this is your challenge. For the next 30 minutes, forget perfection, forget grammar, forget translating. You are going to train your ears. You are going to trust your brain. And you are going to prove to yourself that yes, you can understand English without subtitles, without stopping, without fear. Because real fluency doesn't begin when you finally memorize enough words. Real fluency begins the moment you stop chasing control and start trusting rhythm. That's what listening fluency is, and that's exactly what we're about to build. We begin by slowing everything down, not to make it easier, but to make it visible. Most learners are overwhelmed by fast speech not because they can't understand English, but because they never truly heard how English sounds when it's natural. That's why this first step is not a test. It's an alignment. It's a way to let your brain feel every sound, every pause, every word boundary before we increase the tempo. Because once you hear clearly, speed becomes possible. Let's imagine you've just arrived at the airport in a new country. You walk up to the counter. The agent says, "Good morning, can I see your passport, please?" At full speed, that sounds like, "Good morning. Can I see your passport, please?" But let's slow it down. "Good morning. Can I see your passport, please?" Now we're not just hearing the sentence, we're feeling its shape, the rhythm, the emotional tone. That's where real listening begins. In this step, your goal is not to memorize. Your goal is to imitate, not just the words, but the music of the sentence. So when you hear, "Do you have a reservation?" you don't just hear the literal words. You hear, "Do you have a reservation?" That's what real English sounds like. And when you listen slowly, repeatedly, with context, you begin to predict it. You start feeling what's coming next, even if you don't catch every single syllable. Here's where your training starts to shift. Instead of depending on the brain to translate from English to your language, you're training the brain to link sounds directly to meaning. You hear passport and you immediately feel document, travel, ID. You hear boarding pass and you instantly picture gate, plane, ticket. No translation, just meaning. This is fluency. To help you build this, we'll repeat each sentence 2 or 3 times, slowly, with space to echo. Then we'll add variations of the same sentence. Slight changes, same structure, new words. Because real life doesn't give you the same sentence twice. It gives you patterns. And when you hear enough patterns, you stop needing to decode. You just respond. For example, "Where are you flying today?" Then, "What's your final destination?" Then, "Are you checking any bags?" Different words, same flow, same real-life context. That's what we'll practice now. So take a deep breath, listen. Don't try to get everything, just focus on one thing. Rhythm, that's the golden key. When the rhythm becomes familiar, the meaning follows naturally. Let's train your ear in this way for a few minutes now. Listen, pause, repeat, shadow, imitate. Build that neural path between what you hear and what you understand. Because if you can understand slow English with real-world context, you're already halfway to understanding it at full speed. Now that your brain has tasted the rhythm of real English, it's time to push deeper. Listening alone is powerful, but listening and speaking at the same time is where transformation begins. This is where the shadowing technique comes in, one of the most effective tools to train your brain to understand and respond in real time. Shadowing is not just repeating after someone, it's repeating with them. It's the act of following the speaker's voice, rhythm, and emotion as it happens. You don't wait. You don't analyze. You just react, like a musician playing by ear, like a dancer catching the beat. This is when English stops being a subject you study and starts becoming a skill you perform. At first, it may feel awkward. You'll trip over words. You'll fall behind. That's normal. The goal is not perfection. The goal is synchronization. Your brain is rewiring itself to process sound, recognize patterns, and respond at the same speed it hears. That's how native speakers do it, not by translating, but by trusting the flow. Let's take a simple sentence. "Excuse me, where is the nearest train station?" You hear it once, then you shadow it again with the speaker. Not like a robot, but with feeling. Match the stress. "Excuse me." Slight rise in tone, polite curiosity. "Where is the nearest train station?" Rising tone again, question form, clarity. Now do it again, and again, and again. Each time a little faster, a little smoother. You don't just say the words, you become the speaker. You're acting the sentence, performing it. This kind of training builds listening in reverse. You're not just hearing, you're feeling how it's said. Your mouth moves with the sound. Your brain anticipates the next syllable. Your ears are no longer passive, they're active guides. Let's try another example. Imagine you're at a cafe. "I'll have a coffee with milk, please." Short, simple. But the real version sounds like, "I'll have a coffee with milk, please." Now you shadow it, not slowly, naturally. Match the voice, match the pause, match the rhythm. This is listening with your body. As we move through this section, we'll use short dialogues from real travel situations. You'll hear them, then shadow them. You'll feel the tempo. You'll match the tone. And even if you don't understand every word yet, your brain is learning how to follow the flow. That's the real goal here. Not to memorize, but to internalize. Because when you shadow, you build listening from the inside out. You stop chasing meaning and start writing the sound. And that's what gives you the speed, the confidence, and the ability to understand without subtitles. Don't worry if you fall behind. That's part of the training. You fall, you reset, you try again. Fluency is built in repetition, not in understanding everything once, but in experiencing the same thing many times until your brain says, I know this, I felt this, I don't need to think, I can just speak. So in this step, we don't just listen, we don't just repeat, we shadow, we feel, we echo, we become fluent. Let's go deeper into this now, with real voices, real speed, and your voice right behind theirs. Now we take off the training wheels. You've listened slowly, you've shadowed with rhythm. But in the real world, no one's waiting for you. The world speaks fast. English flows fast. And that's exactly what your ears need to handle. Not just survive it, but thrive in it. The truth is, English at full speed feels terrifying only until it becomes familiar. The first time someone says, hey, how's it going? It sounds like noise. But after 10, 20, 50 times, your brain stops asking, what does that mean? And starts responding automatically, I'm good, and you. That shift only happens through repeated, intentional exposure to real-life speed. This is the phase where your training becomes performance. You're not analyzing grammar. You're not slowing it down. You're not checking subtitles. You're simply listening and reacting. Just like you would in a real conversation at a train station, a hotel lobby, or a taxi ride. And that's exactly what we'll simulate here. We'll present short, high-speed dialogues, real phrases, real tempo, real pressure. You'll hear, welcome aboard. Please fasten your seatbelt. Do you have any liquids in your bag? What's the purpose of your visit today? You won't get these sentences once. You'll get them in cycles, again and again, across different speakers and accents. This isn't to overwhelm you, it's to teach your brain. This is what English sounds like. This is normal. This is yours. And as we push forward, your ears will resist. They'll want to slow it down. That's the old training trying to hold on. But you've already built a foundation. You've trained the rhythm. You've shadowed the sound. You're ready for speed. Even if you don't feel it, your brain is catching more than you realize. What you'll start to notice is that understanding real English doesn't mean understanding every word. It means catching the key ones, predicting the structure, reading tone, recognizing patterns. You don't need to hear the entire sentence to get the message. For example, if someone says quickly, next train to Boston departs in 10 minutes from platform 3. Even if you miss a word like departs, your brain gets the image. Train, Boston, 10 minutes, platform 3. That's enough to act. That's fluency in motion. In this section, you'll train that exact skill, hearing just enough to move forward. You'll hear a short passage, then answer a simple question, not to test you, to prove to your brain, yes, I understood. I didn't freeze. I'm in control. You'll build confidence by hearing speed, recognizing it, and responding, even silently. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Think of it like driving. At first, every movement feels mechanical. But after practice, your body knows what to do. You stop thinking and start moving. That's what real-life speed does to your English. This is not passive listening. This is active immersion. This is where fluency sharpens, where reaction becomes instinct, where you stop watching English happen and start living inside it. So don't be afraid of the speed. Don't fight it. Let it hit you. Let it shape you, because the world won't slow down. And the good news is, now you won't need it to. Let's dive into real-life English at real-life speed, with your ears fully awake and your brain fully engaged. This is where your listening becomes communication. Up until now, you've been training your ear to recognize rhythm, mimic sound, and follow the flow of natural English. But now it's time to move from reaction to interaction. This is where we simulate real conversations, not just listening, but responding. Not just repeating, but thinking in English on the spot. Imagine you're at a hotel reception. The clerk says, welcome. Do you have a reservation? You don't pause. You don't translate. You say, yes, it's under João Silva. That's the skill we're building now. The moment between the question and your answer. The silence that separates fluency from hesitation. In this moment, most learners freeze. But not because they don't know the words. It's because they never practiced the timing. Fluency is not just vocabulary, it's response speed. It's being able to hear something, understand it, and respond, all in English, without your brain switching back to your native language. And that's a muscle you can train. Here's how we do it. You'll hear a question, not slowly, not paused. In natural English, for example, would you like your coffee to go or for here? Then silence. You'll have a moment, just enough to respond. Out loud or silently. Then we'll give a sample answer. For here, please. Then another variation. To go, thanks. Then a third one. I'll take it to go. You'll start to feel something strange and powerful. The pause becomes a space for your voice, a space you'll want to fill. You'll predict what's coming. You'll prepare a response before it finishes. That's how native level comprehension works. It's not just hearing, it's hearing with intent to reply. We'll move through daily situations. At a cafe, a store, a taxi, the airport. You'll hear, how can I help you? Do you need a bag, cash, or card? You'll respond, not with long sentences, with real answers like real people do. Yes, I need a receipt. No, that's all. Card, please. The goal is not to speak perfectly, it's to speak immediately. That's what builds the mental path between sound and speech, between listening and language. This is where your English becomes alive. Not just a skill you practice, but a reaction you live. You'll make mistakes. You'll say something weird. Good. That's the point. Because every second of real-time practice is teaching your brain. This is English. This is how fast we respond. This is the tempo we live in. And the more you do it, the faster you get. Not just faster at hearing, but faster at choosing. Faster at trusting your instinct. Faster at speaking without fear. This is not just listening anymore. This is real English in real time for real situations. And by the end of this step, your brain won't just understand English, it will know how to use it on demand. Let's train your timing now. Listen, breathe, respond. This is the moment fluency begins. Now we go deeper than ears, mouth, or brain. We reach the place where real learning takes root. Emotion. Because what you feel, you remember. And what you remember with emotion, you own forever. This is not just neuroscience. It's the secret reason why you remember a childhood song, a movie quote, or a phrase someone said to you years ago. Your emotions made it unforgettable. That same power can and should be used to learn English. Language is not mechanical, it's emotional. Every word has tone, tension, and energy. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm late again. They're not just sounds, they're feelings. And when you train listening through emotion, you create deep, personal, unforgettable connections to the phrases you hear. Think about the last time a song moved you. The lyrics didn't just enter your ears, they entered your story. They connected with your memories, your desires, your fears. That's what we want to do now with English. You're about to hear real voices, real moments, real emotion. Not actors, not fake smiles, but a mother calling her son, a traveler missing their flight, a friend saying goodbye, a stranger offering help on the street. Each moment carries a mood. Your job is to feel it, to sense the fear, joy, hope, or confusion in the tone, even before you understand the exact words. Why? Because emotion is universal. And when your ears start catching the feeling first, your understanding becomes intuitive, not intellectual. We'll guide you through listening sessions where you're not just focused on what is said, but how it's said. Listen to the stress in a voice that's anxious. Feel the softness in someone offering comfort. Notice the pause before someone reveals bad news. These are the invisible tools native speakers use. And they're available to you not through grammar, but through emotional awareness. You'll do more than just listen. You'll match the tone. You'll mimic the feeling. You'll let the words hit your nervous system, not just your ears. This isn't overacting. This is immersion. It's how actors memorize lines, how singers learn languages, how children acquire fluency without lessons. They feel it first. And guess what? Feeling accelerates memory. You'll remember phrases better if they made you laugh, pause, or tear up. That's because emotion sticks. It binds words to your experience. So don't be afraid to go all in. Laugh with the audio, whisper it back. Feel the panic in a missed flight, the happiness in a thank you, the frustration in a late train. Let yourself feel it all. That's not weakness. That's fluency training at its highest level. Because in the end, language is not about being perfect. It's about being understood. And to be understood, you must connect. And to connect, you must feel. So let's connect with Real English now through stories, voices, and the powerful memory of emotion. There comes a moment that no book can teach and no teacher can schedule. It's the moment when English, real, living English, stops feeling like a subject and starts flowing like a reflex. No more translating in your head. No more doubting what you just heard. No more fear before you speak, only presence, speed, clarity. That moment is what you've been training for. And it's closer than you think. You don't recognize it right away. It sneaks up on you. You're watching a video and realize you didn't read the subtitles. You're in an airport and catch a phrase from the loudspeaker without effort. Someone asks you something unexpected in English, and you answer naturally. That's the moment fluency becomes automatic. Not because you memorized more words, not because you learned new grammar, but because you repeated, listened, responded, felt, and lived inside the sound. You built a system, not of rules, but of habits. Not of memory, but of connection. Your ears got used to real speed. Your mouth got used to natural rhythm. Your brain stopped needing to be perfect and started trusting itself. And the proof? It's not on a test. It's in the smile when someone understands you, in the confidence when you understand someone else, in the freedom to travel, to work, to make friends in a new language. That's fluency. That's yours. No one gave it to you. You earned it. You showed up. You did the work. You trained your mind to listen. You gave your time and your attention, and it paid off. Now English is not something you study. It's something you use. It's something that lives in your ears, in your reactions, in your responses. And it will only grow stronger the more you use it. So here's the truth. This journey never ends. But the hardest part, the beginning, is already behind you. From now on, it's refinement, expansion, depth. From now on, your ears are sharper, your tongue is quicker, your confidence is louder. Keep listening, keep responding, keep immersing, and trust. The automatic will become natural. The natural will become powerful. And one day, you'll meet someone just starting their English journey. And they'll ask, "How did you get so fluent?" And you'll smile and say, 35 minutes a day, every day. I trained my ears, I trained my mind, I trained my fluency. And they'll believe you because they'll hear it in your voice. This is not the end. This is the new beginning of real fluency.